Joseph Artizone is the only resident living in the 62-acre industrial park known as Willets Point. He lives in a modest two-story brick house and rents out the first floor as a local deli. He has lived here his whole life, but the 80-year-old may have to give up the only home he knows once the city starts to redevelop the neighborhood.
Now that it's coming, that it's approximately the 8th time that the government is trying to take this away from us, a lot of my resources that I've tried to build up over the years have diminished. And right now, I'm really not in a position to do anything. And as far as the government goes, to take my property at this point in time away from me and discard me like an old shoe, I think it's very wrong of them.
The plan's goal for economic development includes creating more than 7,000 new jobs and building hotels, retail shops, and housing units. But when the City Council approved Mayor Michael Bloomberg's plan in 2008, it also approved the potential use of eminent domain, the taking of private property by the government for public use. Michael Rykon, an eminent domain attorney representing a group of Willets Point business and property owners called Willets Point United, says that it's almost impossible to stop eminent domain in New York.
It is so easy to go forward and condemn property in New York. At this point, I think it's probably 46 states, or if not more, have adopted limitation on condemning for economic development. Not New York, and I don't think New York will ever do it because of the political ramifications of real estate and politics. Real estate drives politics in New York State, and they'll never restrict it.
The city backed out of its eminent domain claim in 2012 after Willets Point United filed a lawsuit against the city, but it moved forward with a revised multi-phase plan proposed by two developers, Related Companies and Sterling Equities, the real estate firm of Fred Wilpon and Saul Katz, owners of the New York Mets.
Many aspects of this project look blatantly illegal. And, we put in our papers the last time that this was just a pretext to afford the New York Mets owners with additional parking and clear off some unsightly businesses. And that's what it appears that it was all along.
Property owner Irene Prestigiacomo says that while the city is making deals with private developers to take over property, it has yet to improve the poor living conditions of the area, like the lack of a sewer system and unpaved streets.
I pay taxes, I have to pay the taxes, which have doubled for no services. These are taxes paid for services that we do not get here. And it's infuriating. And we even tried to fight that at one point as a group. And the judge at the time said, Willets Point people, you're just making a big stink because you don't want your property taken. What kind of an answer is that?
Irene has attempted several times to renovate her property on her own, which she rents out to 7 tenants who run auto repair shops. She could not get permits from the city to make repairs.
If they would just put the infrastructure in, or let us do it, because we can do it, put the infrastructure and the rest will come, and it would build itself up. This place would grow and prosper, and it would be just wonderful, because you couldn't stop it after that. And that's why they don't want us to have them.
Building up the infrastructure of Willets Point is a major part of the plan. The city's Economic Development Corporation that oversees the project states on its website that the area has limited stormwater and sanitary systems, things the city never put in place.
We never, ever, and ever since my father was here, he tried to get sanitary sewers, denied us those.
It is a situation of designed neglect. Because the city must have blight, they have permanently blighted that area and kept it blighted. There's no sewer, there's no storm sewers, and there's no sanitation, and there's no roads. It's just outrageous. And then they complain about the way the area looks. There's been a decrease in services in the last 10 years, and it's been intentional.
Escaping the conditions of Willets Point isn't as easy as moving your business to another part of town. Relocation assistance has been offered to businesses during the first phase of the project, but Ralph St. John of St. John Enterprises, a general contractor at Willets Point, says that there is no place in the city that he knows of that could hold his trailers, bulldozers, and dump trucks.
That's just a lot of blah blah. That's really not the intent in my evaluation. They tell you those things, but first of all, there's nowhere to go in regards to the style of property we have and what we can do with it.
The Economic Development Corporation declined to speak on camera or over the phone about its relocation plan, but provided an official statement. The city is providing relocation assistance through Cornerstone Group, a business relocation expert. Cornerstone commenced its current rounds of business relocation outreach in August 2012 and has spoken with businesses on city-owned property in Phase 1 at least twice, and in many cases, numerous times, to help understand their needs and present possible relocation sites.
In my experience, throughout all condemnation proceedings, the condemning authority comes up with a relocation specialist, but actually very few people are relocated with the assistance of these experts. There's no real relocation assistance. That area was zoned a very particular way that allowed the businesses that are there to operate. You're not going to be able to find that readily in the city anymore.
The city is moving ahead with plans to review a formal request from project developers to obtain special parking and zoning permits at Willets Point. This is the latest step in transforming what developers see as an eyesore into a more vibrant neighborhood for the public. But ArtZone doesn't see it that way.
I think it's all the laws that they have in place is only to benefit the rich people. I think they better stop this way of thinking. I think they better start thinking about how the people can function and better produce.
ArtZone says he won't get tired of fighting the city. Come next year, a new Queensboro president and mayor could radically turn things around for the neighborhood, including an end to the project. For 219 West, this is Candace Shepard in Willets Point.